Hello, my name is Allison Corman, and welcome to my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. And the name of today's podcast is The Best Always Happening, or Do We Make the Best of It? And the idea for this podcast has been on my mind lately because I just passed the 8-year mark of when my husband left me in 2018. And I've talked about this a lot on my podcast. It's one of the most devastating things that has ever happened to me. And 8 years later, I can say that I have built a beautiful, abundant, gorgeous life. But the path here has not been easy. And what's so amazing to me is even today, people will come up to me and say, Allison, you're doing so well. This is for the best. It's best he left. And even today, when people say that, it almost takes my breath away. I think the reason why it bothers me so much when people say that is because it was such a painful experience. It's not something that I chose. And if I sat home every day under my covers on the couch, my life would look very different than it does today. There were so many things I had to go through, so many choices I made, so many hard decisions, so much suffering. That was it for the best, or did I make the best of it? And does it matter? Both would land me in the same place. So I landed on this statement. And I think it really suits us all. Because when things happen that we don't like in life, when hard times come, when challenging times come, why do we have to think the best is happening? It makes us feel shame. It can make us feel guilty. It can make us feel afraid or confused. And I understand some people believe that to their core. And I respect that. But for those of us who can't hold that, and when we're looking at other people's lives, I find it much easier to say, either the best is happening or we have to make the best of it. And again, I think we land in the same place. And I've worked with a lot of people who have struggled through business losses, who've struggled through horrible breakups. And they'll look back at me and say, that was not for the best. It wasn't the best. I went bankrupt. I love that business. It wasn't the best. Sally and I are not together because she was the love of my life. And so when these things start to happen, they're in conflict with that theory because the loss is so great. And it's something they loved and it's something they cared about. And instead of having that positive view that things are always going your way, it's much easier to hold that life has maybe, and there's an infinite field of possibilities. And no matter what happens, whether you like it or not, there's a place for you to go. If there's breath, there's maybe. And that's how I've looked at it the past 8 years. If you're here, life is offering you something. And so you don't have to work out whether this is good or bad. You don't have to judge it. You just have to keep moving. How can I make the best of my life? What are my resources and what is possible? And so it's so funny how every day I feel that joy, that openness. And then when someone comes up to me and I know they're trying to make me feel better. This is best, Allison. Look at your life today. I know they're trying to celebrate me. But I think because sometimes the past has trauma and there are certain things again that still bother me today, even though I've come such a long way. It's a disregard for my experience. And again, if people think the best is always happening, I totally respect that. That is a life philosophy, and you have a right to have any philosophy that you want. But sometimes my mind cannot get to that place where I feel something is for the best. When I'm looking at a situation someone else had or a situation I have, but I do know that I can take whatever situation I'm in the moment and make the best of it. And that always keeps me moving forward. So how can we do this? I think the first thing is to acknowledge the experience that you're having. When my husband left, it was devastating. There was nothing good about it. At first, I couldn't get out of bed. At first, I couldn't eat. And every day, I just tried to stay in maybe and move it a little forward. And so whatever you're going through today, acknowledge it. You don't have to rationalize it. You don't have to make it sugar-coated. You can say, I'm in a situation and I don't like it and it's very painful. I didn't want my husband to leave. I didn't want my boyfriend to break up with me. I didn't want to lose my job. And even if it turns out you get a better job later on, it's your choice how you want to define it. So feel your feelings. You have to allow yourself to see what's happening in your life and be honest about how you feel about it. And you can't let other people tell you how you feel. We all have different needs, different wants. And after you see how you feel, you get to spend some time there. Yes, do you have to wake up the next morning? You have to eat, you have to sleep, you need to go to work. Whatever you're experiencing, you need to keep life going. And when you're ready, you start that gratitude practice. Not, I'm grateful this situation happened to me. I remember in the beginning it was very basic. I was thankful that I was able to put my feet on the floor in the morning. I was thankful to be able to drink water. I was thankful that I had friends that checked on me. It was very basic. And I also knew that the future was unknown, which meant my life could change. Even just those two things, being grateful for whatever resources you have and realize that uncertainty is your best friend, because if you want your life to change, it has to happen in the unknown. And those are the two premises that will get you to the next day and the next day after that. And over time, you will see life changes. And you could keep writing your fears down. What's my biggest fear? My biggest fear is my life will not change. My biggest fear is I won't be able to support myself. My biggest fear is I will never fall in love again. And you can soften that fear by saying, am I absolutely certain that's true? And the beauty of it is you cannot be certain of anything, and you cannot be certain of your fears. And every day you do the maybe practice. Maybe I can get through this. Maybe I can find another job. Maybe I'll fall in love again. Maybe my heart can heal. And you stay in maybe, and you take one moment at a time. And you don't have to mutter the words, I know the best is happening and I will see this over time. If that works for you, that's great. But if it doesn't, when you have the strength, you can remember, I need to make the best of it. And that's what I did, not the first couple of months, but after a while. This is what I have. I need. How can I make the best of my life? How can I make the best of what's left? So gratitude, maybe, and that question. And that's what led me home. And that can lead you home as well. You don't have to have all the answers, and you don't have to hide your feelings. And you don't have to say the best is always happening. Because if you don't believe that, you're going to become negative very quickly. And you're going to be trying to figure something out that you can't figure out. You can't always know why something happened. You can't always know why that person did what they did. I still don't know the details of why my husband left me. I would go crazy every night trying to figure it out. And then I realized I would never know. And I had to put it down to move forward. I had to put it down to make the best of it. I had to put it down to be grateful for what I had, and I had to put it down so I can embrace the maybe. Maybe I didn't need to know. Maybe I can move forward without it. So these are the tools that I used, and I know you can use them too. Life always changes. If you have breath, you have maybe. No matter what you're experiencing today, if you're here, there's something waiting for you. And it might not be your first choice, and it might not be what you preferred, but there's still a life experience. And with that experience becomes depth and laughter and joy and introspection. And sometimes it becomes your best life because you discover more of who you are. So I think today, am I living my best life? Yes. Would I have chosen this? No. Do they seem contradictory? Maybe. But I don't have to figure it out. Because every day, I don't have to worry about whether the best is happening. I just need to make the best of it. And the same goes for you. Acknowledge how you feel. Go through that process. Don't try to figure everything out when there are no answers. Be grateful for what you have. Remember, uncertainty is your best friend, that the infinite field is filled with possibilities. Life has maybe. And as you gain your strength and resilience, you will make the best of it. And for all you know, maybe the best is yet to come. Thank you for listening to this podcast today. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you could email me at allison@allisoncarmen.com. If you'd like to buy my books, The Gift of Maybe, A Year Without Men, Maybe Everything's Okay, A Parent's Guide to Less Stress and Worry, you could find them at all major bookstores and online retailers. If you'd like to buy my Maybe cards or my Maybe digital journal, they're available on Amazon, Etsy, and my Stan store. And most of all, if you like this podcast, I hope you subscribe and leave a comment.